I'm Vanessa Taylor, and I'm the writer of this episode and a co-executive producer on Season 3.
And my name is Dan Minahan. I was the director on this episode.
I'm Natalie Dormer. I play Margaery Tyrell.
And I'm Jack Gleeson. I play Joffrey Margaery.
You bad man.
The interesting thing about this title sequence that I didn't realize is that it visits each of the locations that we'll visit in the story.
I know, isn't that cool how it changes?
It's unique to each episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
There's such great opening title sequence. It's fantastic. I love it every time.
Award-winning, no, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
Did you see, Jack, that some of us were asked to hum the theme tune on the red carpet at the Season 3 premiere?
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I would advise people to look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Oh, God.
Did everyone see my sigil go by? It's a quill that is writing in blood. Thank you.
Wow. I hope you write in ink normally.
That's beautiful. That's a new location.
That is.
The harpy that comes out.
There you are, Vanessa.
Thank you, Dan. Oh, this, of course, was not the original opening of this episode.
No, this is a reorder. We begin the episode with a dream, which I think is really clever.
Yeah.
Although I think we know right away that it's a dream because
Isaac's
Bran is
moving.
Walking.
Right.
This is filmed on a beautiful estate just feet away from a highway.
Oh, that's right. I always found it really exciting to see Isaac walking, since obviously his character doesn't walk. I'm assuming it must have been pretty great for him as well.
Isaac became such a good archer that when we were filming this...
He's looking pretty confident with that, yeah.
He was so exacting and so strong. He shot the arrow, and he shot a huge balloon light, which was probably the size of a van that was floating in the air.
Oh, wow.
He shot it, pierced it, and it sunk to the ground.
Oh, goodness. The gaffer was really happy about
And
that.
it wasn't supposed to be funny, but I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, jeez.
Why not?
Oh, and here's Jojen.
Because the Raven is you.
It's kind of lovely to see Richard, Kit, and Isaac all standing next to each other again, even
I know.
briefly,
And the direwolves have grown exponentially.
I think the direwolves are looking fantastic this season, I have to say. I'm very impressed. I'm always impressed by our visual effects team, but...
And they're really beautiful.
Were you inside the wolf again, little lord?
No. It's a three-eyed raven. He's back. I tried to kill it, but I couldn't. There was a boy.
I don't want to hear about it.
But you asked.
We've got plenty of worries. We don't need to pour black magic on top of them.
Isaac's grown so much by this point.
I know.
His voice is beginning to change.
I'm glad we moved him from that basket. I think Christian was going to pass out from carrying him around.
No one even knows we're alive.
Who told you that? Three-eyed raven tell you?
They've all shot up. I mean, Sophie's amazing
I know.
shot up as well. It's amazing.
I don't know what other people know and what they don't. I only know the war.
I've been hitting the gym as well myself,
How are the muscles? How are the muscles doing? How are the guns, Jack?
Oh.
Are the guns?
The guns are
forming?
doing well. I'm
You're going to be ready
fostering
to
them.
rival. You're going to be able to rival Alfie Allen soon, are you?
Oh, yeah. Press-up competitions.
Stinking barbarians that would row across the narrow sea and steal us from our beds.
So we find ourselves back at Harrenhal. This was the sort of library, the headquarters.
Never.
For Richard's opponents. Bad news.
Let me guess which one is the good news.
He looks like someone killed his puppy.
Completely killing the mood.
And this was not the original location of this scene, right? We had to change for some reason?
Yes, this was meant to be in a sort of private cell where they'd put Lady Catelyn. We didn't have a private cell to put Lady Catelyn in, and rather than redress his set, we put it into a place. Also, in the original order of this, it was a lot of interior scenes, and we like the idea of placing it outdoors.
By the time Bolton's bastard got to Winterfell, the Ironborn were gone.
And of course, she gets the news that her sons may have been killed.
This was sort of an issue for us in the writing this season, was that Lady Catelyn is so often aggrieved and distressed that we had to sort of try to find ways to modulate that because her life is so distressing. Poor woman.
Have you received any demands?
No.
Have you heard anything from Theon at all?
Well, if anyone can find the nuances,
Yes.
it's Michelle Fairley.
Oh, speaking of aggrieved and distressed.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my lord.
How many episodes did he spend attached to that?
God. This
crucifix?
was something I brought up with David, Dan, and Brian many times, and I found no purchase. I felt that maybe we could torture him less, but no one agreed with me.
He plays the tortured victim so well that,
Well, he does do it quite
might as well
well.
extend it.
This is true.
Yeah.
So here I consulted the medieval torture website. Oh no, this is the nails. Sorry, I forgot. I thought it was the instep borer.
It's like that scene in Ken Loach's Wind That Shakes the Barley.
The Wind That Shakes the Barley with Porrick. Yeah, Porrick Delaney, who played my brother in The Tudors. That's an incredible scene in that movie. Yeah.
Horrific scene. Yeah.
So well done. I love Gwendolyn.
This is one of my favorite storylines this season. I really felt like they were so terrific together.
They've really found their chemistry, haven't they?
Yeah, and it's just them, basically, for a lot of this.
This was one of our most ambitious days. I think we shot about 6 pages that day.
On and on it went.
And Gwendolyn was marching around in that heavy armor. But they had a great time. They did beautiful work.
How did you come into Lady Stark?
She's taken her physical training so seriously.
Well, and
That's what I admire about
she
her so
really
much.
has worked so hard. And Nikolaj, has such a natural gift for fighting. I think probably she was inspired by that.
I've noticed your dour head smacking into the arch.
The idea of having him stop to have a pee here was suggested by Chris, one of our producers, which I thought was brilliant because it would be the kind of thing that gives it, she had to endure.
Annoyed.
Yeah.
Reality,
would
it's the
savor
kind of
it.
reality of spending 24/7. Yeah.
Lived with him at court since he was a boy, don't forget. Could hardly escape the little tulip. Skipping down the corridors in his embroidered silks. I knew him far better than you.
I knew him as well as anyone. I was a member of his kingdom.
They're talking about my ex-husband, my departed husband, in a very rude terms there, Nikolaj.
I didn't write this bit, but I really enjoyed their discussion of love and the nature of love here. I thought it was nice.
An unexpected moment of tenderness between them, foreshadowing what may happen.
Where are you headed then?
South. You?
River Run. Staying off the King's Road, are you? They get you no matter where you go. You can't win.
Ah, you really can't.
I remembered this part taking a long time to shoot. I don't remember why.
It did. I think that this poor guy had a
Was
rough
the
time
horse
with his
being
horse.
unruly?
Yeah, the horse sort of
Yeah.
had enough of it. And of course, they dispatched the last people who discovered them on the road. And now she has to wrestle with the idea of whether or not she's going to kill this poor old guy.
He's an innocent man.
More innocent than Lady Stark's daughters.
Oh.
Here we are.
Oh,
Make it
Jack.
tighter here.
That's better.
That's actually Dolce and Gabbana. So.
Made of muslin.
They fitted. Yeah, muslin. It's a new material they're using.
I remember Michelle Clapton describing this scene to me when I had one of my early costume fittings for the season. She was showing me the fabrics, Jack, that she was going to use for this scene that she had gathered, you know, her eclectic eye that Michelle has. Her describing the scene to me.
Well, that's a way in which art mirrors reality, because I had a meeting with Michelle and I just said no to so many of those fabrics because they just weren't working really, you know,
They're a bit girly for you, darling.
They just weren't working.
I always found it fascinating being on the set with you, Jack, because you're such a charming, erudite, nice person. And then to see your instant transformation into this evil, smug twerp was really quite entertaining.
If I had a pound for every time I'm asked whether you're actually a nice guy, Jack, I'd be very, very
I know.
rich. I'd be a Lannister. Yeah, he's lovely. He's actually really nice.
The sort of unexpected thing that happened in this scene, which I thought was great, is it's scripted, Vanessa, that he's changing his clothes, and there we have him undressing in front of his mother and redressing,
right.
which I thought is so great, considering her strange proclivities.
Yes. Oh, and here she is once again in armor.
But it's a nice kind of private moment between them. Yeah, I like that scene.
Yeah, it's great because it's you see, obviously Margaery isn't privy to these conversations, but she's hoping that exactly this kind of thing is going on. The dissolution of the relationship between Cersei and you.
Better. Much better.
I still don't believe it. You didn't
Mirror to mirror, very nice.
Mirror
Dan.
to mirror, thank you.
Mirror.
What do teenagers do? They look at themselves in the mirror. They're discovering who they are.
Littlefinger's not in love with me.
That was beautiful, Dan.
Thank you, Jack.
Love is not the thing he wants. He's too old. They never see it that way. He didn't ask you to do something.
I really enjoy this sort of developing relationship between Shay and Sansa, and how it sort of complicates the plot going forward.
If he does ask you for anything, or try anything, or touch you, I want you to tell me. Why? What will you do? I will make him stop.
No, it's really nice to see really strong female relationships as well, being given proper weight and airtime.
Lady Sansa.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
My sister Margaery invites you to take the air with her and our grandmother, the Lady Lena, in the gardens.
You know, it's interesting, Natalie, because people always ask me if I feel like I contribute to some sort of strengthening of the female relationships on this show. And I have to say, honestly,
of course.
I don't know. I mean, I think you add your own insight, but I feel like the guys are pretty attentive to it.
Oh, no, that's what I mean. Sorry, I was like, of course you get asked, but you're right that Dan and David are very...
I don't feel like it's a deficit that I sort of leaned in to
fulfill. No. I agree with you. They're very sensitive, and there's definite equality there already. It's just nice to have a female writer on the team too, huh?
It's your beautiful dress. Natalie, I feel that you don't have as many dresses as some of the other characters, and I'm always concerned about this. You have these beautiful dresses, but I want you to have more of them. Is that shallow of me?
She does have more of them. There just isn't very much of them.
Yes, that's the running joke.
They're quite similar. Oh,
okay.
Diana
Here we
Rigg.
have the introduction of Diana Rigg.
How phenomenal is she?
Oh my God.
She surpassed my wildest expectations. I think she's so perfect for this.
My very first TV crush is Emma Peel.
Oh, of course.
Had to say it.
Oh, Avengers.
Yeah.
She said every line exactly the way I wanted her to. So wonderful.
Renly was brave and gentle, Grandmother.
She is so regal, isn't she? In every kind of movement.
Yeah, she carries a natural
incredible.
stateliness with her. Yes, she does.
And she's a dame.
She is.
She is.
How many dames are there?
I don't know.
It's maybe 15 or 20, I think.
How many dames are there? I don't know, Dan, you tell me.
Robert has 2 sons and Renly has an older brother.
This was such an incredibly beautiful location, wasn't it, Dan? These gardens.
Was heaven.
Is this Croatia?
It's Croatia, yes. This is
Yeah,
Dubrovnik.
this is Croatia.
This is a 15th century
like a botanical
villa.
gardens.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just
my
outside
goodness.
of Dubrovnik.
Oh, and this is a scene taken almost word for word from the book. I just thought George's dialogue was so great here.
Are you going to bring the food, or do you mean to starve us to death?
And she does not suffer fools.
No, I love how scary she is.
I'm much less boring than these others.
True matriarch.
My son?
I mean, look at that. No CGI, right? I mean, it's just stunning scenery.
No, that's
Stunning.
all. It's all
Wow.
real. You wouldn't
That
think
was all
so,
there.
but it's all there.
That was all there. It was stunning.
My husband, the late Lord.
The one thing we did have to do was kind of chase boats around.
Right.
Oh, I remember. We were waiting for boats to pass.
Yeah.
Paying no mind to where his horse was.
And in some instances, I think they just had to paint them out.
Right.
Doing the same. Only this time he's riding a lion.
I love the uncertainty of this scene. I love that she's not sure what they want from her or whether it's safe, how much it's safe to tell them.
And I also love that it's sort of the secret life behind this time period where the women were behind the scenes sort of figuring things out and
We've
strategizing.
heard some troubling tales. Is there any truth to them? Has this boy mistreated you?
Don't you dare tell me.
Has he ripped out your tongue?
Here's the cheese.
Because everyone forgets that the
Oh, no, there's the
Tyrell-
lemon cake, sorry.
I love
And the lemon cakes, yeah.
this performer, this waiter server guy, I think is so terrific. And he's obviously, playing a day part and just did such a great job of being terrified by her.
His little walk off.
There was no acting. It was NAR. There was no acting required.
I think he was a little intimidated.
Father always told the truth.
Yes. He had that reputation, and they named him traitor.
See, everyone forgets. I get asked a lot,
Joffrey.
what are the Tyrells? The Tyrells really don't know when they sign up how awful Joffrey is. The audience are 2 seasons acquainted with how terrible
Right.
Joffrey is.
And now she's acquainted.
Dan, I remember this day, and I remember the way Sophie, on her own, completely naturally, without any help from Tearstick or anything, cried on and off for hours.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
No, it
was the
was-
most beautiful, natural performance. I know
Heartbreaking.
teenagers, they have a lot of hormones going around, but it was natural tears the entire time. She was beautiful.
Yeah, she was completely
She
authentic.
is such a natural performer. She really, I'm always interested in what she comes up with because it feels so naturalistic.
Ah,
It's
here
very
comes my
pure.
cheese.
Cheese and lemon
She's
cake.
is going to pass out soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, this was beautiful. Remember this? Where were we?
We were on the edge of a big estate, sort of a farm.
Oh, wow. And all these riders. This must have taken us forever.
In an endless forest full of ferns.
Yeah, that's right.
The ferns in Ireland are amazing. The landscape.
It actually looks sunny there. With a
Sun dappled.
one
The
sunny
rare
day.
day when we didn't have to match
Yeah.
rain.
If it's revenge,
Yeah.
I still got faith in it.
If you no longer believe,
I can believe till it snows in dawn. Don't change the fact.
A lot of talk about Dorne in this episode,
Yeah.
in these first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I'd like to go on vacation to Dawn. It sounds like a
No,
nice
it sounds
place.
lovely.
There's a
good
beautiful
wine,
that
apparently.
yeah,
Wine.
exactly. There's wine that came from Dorne.
Yeah.
The day you married her.
Oh,
And there she is.
Oh, this is such a beautiful scene, Vanessa.
thank you. I wrote none of this, I believe, but I, too, think it's a lovely story.
You're afraid of her. And she knows it.
I'm not afraid of her.
Yeah, this monologue now that Michelle does is incredibly moving.
Yeah, so surprising that she's talking about Jon Snow.
May I help you, Lady Stuff?
No.
And of course, part of the progression of their incredibly awkward
I'm sorry, I shouldn't.
You
relationship.
can't help. Because a mother makes one for her children to protect them. Only a mother can make them.
I love this talisman sort of fetish that she's making.
Right. This poor woman trying to stem the tide.
Yeah.
What exactly is it? It looks like a dream catcher.
It's the seven.
Yeah.
Right. It's each of the figures: the crone, the
of
maiden.
course.
And she made something like that when
For
Bran
Bran
had fallen.
Right.
Yes. There you go.
Many years before
She has to have many different ways to explore her grief. Oh, it's horrible.
She'd have like 5 like self-help books. She existed in
The stages of grief.
Yeah. Wonder if they have therapists in the 7th.
I had to keep reminding myself in the writing, now what horrible things have happened to her and what horrible things have not yet happened to her.
I love the reveal that she feels responsible.
Yes, it's interesting.
It's really surprising.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot in the writing because I actually found it confusing at first. Like, does she genuinely believe she set these things in motion?
He got the pox.
I love the religions in the stories because they're undefined.
Right.
But it's such a relief to see something that's set in this period that's not Christian or any recognizable religion, but watching people struggle with it.
Right, and struggle with similar issues.
Yeah. No, it's great how it plays the same role in their society. You know,
Especially in the Stannis
solace or
storyline.
comfort.
I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem, forced or,
And it allows people from all over the world to enjoy the show without bringing baggage to,
Right. Without.
There's no natural assumption or prejudice about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or whatever.
Right.
It's a straight away. It's everyone arrives at the show neutral to these things.
Come to my family.
Beautiful score. It has a very light touch.
He is tremendous.
Yeah.
I couldn't love a motherless child.
sets the tone perfectly.
Oh boy, here we are.
Was it hard for you to kill the half-hand?
Oh, Kieran Hines. How excited was I to work with him. He is someone I've admired for so long.
What's he like? I absolutely love his
He's
acting.
a guy from Belfast
He's from
to begin with.
Belfast.
Yeah, which is amazing.
I think he was so happy to be there and visit with the family.
Great actor.
You want to protect your people.
This is the strangest, most beautiful landscape. Those are all lava fields. They're sort of lava flows that have, sort of created these little.
Are they dormant, or do they still?
No, there's still
emit lava?
There are still volcanoes, as far as I know, around. But these are long.
Was it difficult to get to this location?
This location, surprisingly, we were driving down the road. It was this summer. We saw a farm, and I said, let's look over there. And we pulled off the road, ran into the farmer just by chance. We're in the middle of nowhere. And they said, yeah. Well, so will it be expensive to film here? And they said, what do you mean? They don't charge location fees. This character is exciting to me, Oral.
Yeah.
The warg, which we'll learn later that...
The warg, yeah.
There he is. That Bran has the same power.
Wasn't it meant to be one of the best years ever for the Northern Lights, Dan?
Yeah, we didn't waste any time within half an hour of getting to our hotel. The Northern Lights were blaring. It's hard to describe. They were just this green diaphanous strange ribbon that would come and go. It was amazing.
Because I'd read somewhere that the conditions were the best that they've been for decades. It was the Aurora Borealis were.
You know you want to.
The locations here were spectacular. We had to rescout them when we got there because after the summer, a number of them had become, inaccessible. Found new locations, and then this one in particular, it was a warm day. and it started melting.
Yeah, I was wondering.
So we were shoveling snow onto the set. Yeah. But that
Bring a
vista
snow
is...
machine to Iceland.
Yeah.
No, Sam. No. Get up. I can't. You stop. You'll die.
Boss, if you don't stop, you'll probably die too.
Dolores Ed is one of my favorite characters. Everything he says is such a downer.
The White Walkers came, you left me.
I know. Poor John.
We left you. You're fat and you're slow. We didn't want to die.
We get him up.
Come on. Look, right.
Piggy is done for. Help us get him up. Slowing us down. Just get him up. Why? So the rest of us can die.
There's something incredibly operatic about this landscape to me. They look like they could be in the ring.
Is he all right? I think so. If he can't, we may as well just go without. That's enough. Charlie, I forbid you to die.
This is where the opera music comes in, isn't it? They start singing some of the Ring cycle.
Thank you, Jack. Maybe you should offer
Still a
your
bit of my
services to
5 years of
Ramin.
opera training. Yeah.
Because the weather was so unpredictable, our schedule, these poor guys had to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. While we were shooting with Mance Rayder and his clan. So I'd find them each evening at this hot spring. There's a natural hot spring. I'd find them soaking in this hot spring up the road from the hotel. Bran is warging, even though he doesn't know it.
Again, a beautiful wolf.
Where's Rayon and Hodor? Looking for food. What's out there?
The wolves are... What percentage of them are CGI, if you know what I mean?
They're real wolves. They're just composited into the landscapes.
These are the LA wolves?
These are the Los Angeles wolves. These, coincidentally, are the same wolves that we worked with on True Blood.
Really?
They're SAG wolves, not equity wolves.
They're 100% professional. Very dramatic introduction of his character.
Right. Fantastic reveal, absolutely.
I feel like
you've
Jojen
added that mist
has
there.
To, yes, the man
So
standing
got a massive
with the
smoke
mist
machine going
waver. There was always some man in the forest waving the mist. I think this actor has to walk such a fine line because Jojen could easily be a little over the top, and I feel like he has done such a great job.
My sister carries the weapon.
I'm better with them.
Mira.
Then another person comes behind her.
And I carry the water.
Nice try. Can the wargs choose which animal to, enter into their consciousness or whatever, or is it just prophetic?
I believe they can.
They have some element of choice because he goes into Hodor, right?
Right. Kind of like a being John Malkovich vibe.
I'm Jojen Reed.
And this is the question that is on everyone's mind.
I know. It is
Yeah,
a
it's
question
great
on
when it
everyone's
actually gets
mind.
articulated.
Yeah.
Could have picked King Joffrey.
Shut up.
Could have picked Tywin Lannister.
Jack and got us out of Harrenhal, so why are you complaining?
I think this is one of the first things we shot in the season.
Where are we going?
North.
If we were going north, we should have come to the Red Fork River by now.
Maybe already passed it.
It's 100 feet wide. How could we have passed it? If we hit the Red Fork, we can follow it west to River Run. My mother grew up there. My grandfather's the Lord. He'll protect us.
Could be a minstrel.
Shut up.
This is a great episode for introducing characters.
Yes.
There's a lot of introductions.
Yeah. And a lot of the kind of regular, the more prominent characters on it, like Daenerys and...
Right.
I love Thoros of Myr.
Yeah, I do too. We were fortunate in this casting because he's more a straight comedic actor, traditionally in the UK, right?
Yes.
Dennis Pennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, we originally had Daenerys here, you know, but things shift around so much.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's very difficult to balance.
You never quite know where anything will land.
Plot lines. Yeah. Yeah.
Put the sword down, John.
Just throw them all together, see what happens.
You can't be 100% certain the scene that is going to proceed and succeed. So...
Right.
Exactly.
So your transitions are sometimes totally irrelevant.
Generous.
Ditto.
You're dangerous.
Well, you got the mirror transition.
You got the mirror in there,
That
Dan.
was
Yeah,
well
so you got the
done.
mirror this up.
3 young ones on the run.
This location was spectacular. It's some kind of a ruin. I never found out what actually was there.
Who are you?
Is it completely natural, or
Yeah.
or was there any
No, it was all
design
there.
involved? Wow.
No, we just pulled away a few vines so people could pass through.
Build a little bridge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 boys and a very dangerous.
It was a little bit like Journey to the Center of the Earth. We tried to preserve all of the natural, because bringing a film crew in and out of a place like that, you can imagine, could decimate it.
Yeah.
So we sort of had little walkways for people to walk on so they didn't disturb the undergrowth.
That's most of my memory of Game of Thrones is sitting in a forest somewhere, trying to find a chair.
With a nice drizzle coming down on top of
with
you.
a drizzle and a lot of North Face products.
When I'm done talking, that arrow's falling down on your fat head. So I advise you move, because I'm done talking.
And he's good.
I'm crazy about these guys. I was so happy that we got to introduce them. I love Paul Kay.
Yeah.
They're so
great.
strong.
Great.
Half the country's starving, and look at this one.
He doesn't seem to be too annoyed at her presence.
I love their relationship. I think it's
I
really...
do too, and we've
it's
diverged
incredible.
a bit
So
from the
good.
book. We've made it, I think, slightly more complicated, which is interesting. It will provide some problems, but I think we are happy to have gone that way.
More emotionally complex, you mean?
Yes. I think we tried to make her motives somewhat more ambiguous and her personally sort of more conflicted, and just give her a little bit of additional depth.
But since I met you, my lady, I've been with no one else.
And was she good? Did you like her?
Not as much as I like you, obviously, or she'd be the one torturing me right now. What did she say about Littlefinger?
That Sansa shouldn't trust him.
Is there an idiot in any village who trusts Littlefinger?
We have to protect her.
We can't. Now that the Lannisters have discarded her.
You see, that's a very interesting line, isn't it, for Shay to say?
Very old.
It's a precursor for the action that follows.
Right.
We have to protect her.
Yes, she is, objectively, very. Her face is quite pleasing to other men, to women.
He just can't say there
Digging his own grave there.
I know, men should learn just to learn when to shut up, right?
Yeah.
Pervert. You want her? This child.
I don't even want to talk
I think our
about
domestic arguments would go in a slightly different way, don't you, Jack?
Yeah. Yeah.
Words come out.
This is cruel and unfair.
Be more finality to it.
Cruelty.
Oh, dear.
She is so cruel to me.
I was thrilled to have so much stuff with Sibel in these episodes. I was a huge fan of her since I saw her in that film Head On.
Right.
But you mustn't come
Incredible.
Do you hear me? You've come to a dangerous place. Full of dangerous people.
He's resisting so much, you know. Not at all.
Oh, there you go, in your dress.
All right, Nat.
Do you remember me tripping up the stairs here, Dan?
Oh, this is my favorite scene in the whole thing, of course.
I have to say the same thing, and it's not just because you two guys are on the line.
No, definitely.
Such a beautifully crafted scene.
Such fun.
This was our first scene of the season, wasn't it? And it was our first scene together, wasn't it, Jack? That we shot.
I think it was, yeah, it was. I'm leaving on a hunting trip. I just wanted to make sure you had everything you need before I left.
I can remember Dan saying to me, when you walk in the room, imagine it's an AK-47 pointing at you. You know, give it that weight.
An AK-47 held by, you know,
a psychopath.
Person who doesn't know how to use it. Yeah.
Yeah, give her respect.
And the bedside of a traitor. I remember the set design here was absolutely incredible. They had like baboon skulls and like dead mice, like
that's true. You can't really see. And I remember it was scripted. Actually, it was on the sides that Margaery notices all the dead. Was that you, Vanessa?
That's right. Yeah.
Margaery notices all the dead animals on the wall, and it doesn't quite read.
There's lots of it around. You just don't see it. It's such a huge, opulent room.
But, you know, it was one of those things where the subtlety of it helped with our performance. It informed the process, and, you know, the audience don't necessarily need to see it. It just added to the moment while we were there.
Renly, I don't believe he was interested in the...
It was really interesting, Jack, because it was the first time you and I had worked as actors together. So to feel each other's energy, we genuinely were trying to figure each other out and how our chemistry and our rhythm as two actors would work. So there was sort of an echo of real life, wasn't there, on this day?
There really was, yeah, absolutely.
Each other's process and, you know.
And here we get to see Margaery's genius, how she turns the situation.
I know, wrapped around your little finger.
Something that sounded very painful.
I did not write this part, but I thought it was very interesting how far they decided to go in what she was saying. The restrained way in which she says it. She offers up a lot of information here, and I thought it was really intriguing.
Yeah, she has no other choice. It's sort of, that's how dangerous he is, right?
It is still very subtle, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, but it's quite graphic in a way. I mean, we're all pretty clear what she's saying happened.
You must do whatever you need to do.
Oh, the way to his heart.
Yeah. Yes.
A boy, a girl, and a gun.
I think it's, that's it. It's definitely extension, perhaps not of his heart, but another piece of his anatomy.
We really took the ball and ran with it in terms of his sadism, which I have to say I've enjoyed a lot.
Will you show me how it works?
You must enjoy playing it, Jack. You must enjoy pushing it. Do you not?
Right on, yeah, it's great. It's it's really fun. I mean, it's kind of been that way since the start, you know. Just doing really horrible things, especially when you get little, you know, these incredible props to play around with. You know, it really brings.
And this is not a fake crossbow.
Right.
God, no, it was heavy.
That's a real crossbow. Boyd, the incredible Boyd,
and I can remember
made
you having
this,
problems. So the tension in it was so strong and real that when you were cranking it back, you really had to give it a couple of goes, didn't you? And when I took it from you, you really needed to...
just stupidity.
No, not at all. And then when I take it from you, you actually had to help me hold it because it was so heavy. My arms were shaking. I remember.
Yeah.
Because we'd done it so many times.
We're more alike than you think.
You do it.
Beautifully lit,
isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
It's nice.
Look at that, and the light on Jack's face there. It's beautiful. Two-profile shot. Really nice shot.
Jack, I thought of this as the kind of bookend to our scene with Sansa in season 1. Their first kiss. It's sort of like
I was thinking about that. Yeah,
very dark version of that.
Here's the instep borer.
Yeah, how it's it's a true kind of expression of his caring for this girl, but it's in a weird way.
So is this, sorry, moving on, is this the medieval torture you were researching?
Yes,
Is that what you're talking
sadly.
about?
Oh, so much torture.
Why? To take the north while it was vulnerable. What were you going to do once you took it?
Where does one look up authentic medieval torture?
Well,
does one get
there
on,
are some
Google?
websites, and you have to find the right item because, of course, you don't want it to be. See, there it is.
Ooh.
You don't want it to be difficult to construct or overly, be the center of the scene. It has to be portable, like this instep borer or the item they used earlier on his nails. So depressing. Ah, poor Alfie.
And he's telling the truth as well.
Right.
He's not lying.
I wanted to hurt them.
Okay, now we're on the road.
Rickon, stay with us.
The boy who plays Rickon is incredible and spirited.
Oh, Artie.
He's lovely. Lovely guy.
You can get inside his head, see through his eyes.
Only when I'm asleep.
That's how it begins until you learn to control it.
Poor Isaac kept falling out of this cart.
He slid in one take. He slid out, and we couldn't figure out how it happened. And I said to him, Isaac, do you need me to, do you need us to tie you in there? And I said, because you're sliding out. And I said, you can stop yourself. And he said, no, I can't. I can't use my legs. So he really, he just did what would happen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He slid out of the back of the wagon.
Oh, so he wasn't using the muscles in his legs at all?
No.
Right.
It's not hard to find.
Isn't he ashamed, your brother?
Method.
Needing you to protect him.
The only one thing that matters.
They've got no proof of this. I can say I've seen loads of stuff like,
This storyline is just endlessly challenging because they're talking a lot and walking. It's just very, very difficult. Oh, remember this place?
Yeah. Beautiful roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
There's no story so good a drink won't make it better.
this is when Rory comes in.
Yeah.
They've all suffered through my bouts of sobriety. It's very tedious for all concerned. Now,
We initially, Maisie had swordplay here, and we lost that, right?
They excised it, yes.
Which is too bad, simply because she was so
She was
good
really
at it.
good.
She did a great job.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, why was that lost?
I think for economy's sake and to clarify.
where'd you train?
I love Thoros. He's wonderfully
King's Landing. Turbo Mark
louche.
That criminal. He charges twice as much as every other armour in the city.
He's twice as good.
That's the word I used to describe him. He's kind of like he's kind of like Keith Richards or something.
Right.
Only as a a priest who likes to party.
He's such an interesting character in terms of the way faith has sort of been thrust upon him.
Thoros easily disarms her.
Right. See, Natalie, I shouldn't have complained about your dresses because Maisie has been in this outfit for I don't even know how many episodes.
You'll free us?
I give you my word. But before you go, allow me to raise a cup to your That is an uncommonly large.
Oh, here comes the party.
Some Jews. Such an uncommon.
Well, that changes everything.
Oh, right. And so initially this was the opening.
That's right.
It's a tough decision.
Oh.
Jamie and Brienne scoping out the bridge, traveling carefully back to King's Landing.
Now, anyone could see us on the bridge, but crossed by water, and the current could take us, or I could escape down the river.
Good luck.
It's wonderful to watch you wrestle with these dilemmas. Which will she choose?
I remember these being some of our most difficult shoot days because of this bridge, because you could see everyone on either side of the bridge, so it was so difficult to shoot. We kept having to move people across the bridge, and it rained.
I was going to say you had really bad weather that day, didn't you? I remember that you had bad weather that day.
We did. We had a lot of rain.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And the bridge was paved, so they sort of filled it with dirt, this kind of sod, and they planted it with grasses.
The greens people did such a good job, but it was very difficult.
But once it rained, all the sod turned to peanut butter.
Right.
So we had like the most challenging stunt to perform with these swords, which are pretty dangerous.
Yeah. Right.
And a very slippery surface.
Oh, God.
Our intention was to shoot the whole thing sort of handheld and Steadicam and move with the actors. We ended up putting it on a big, beautiful crane so that we didn't have actors and camera operators slipping all over the place.
Right.
Mm.
They rehearsed this for a
step in
long
the sludge, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Gwen worked really hard on this.
They rehearsed really a long time for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing her in the hotel lobby several mornings, and she was going off to train for the choreography of the fight. And you can see, and it paid off. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, she does such a great job, but it's very difficult. She's supposed to be this fantastic, seasoned fighter.
Bit of a quandary for you. If you kill me, you fail Lady Stark.
And Nikolaj actually has to do it with his hands cuffed. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he actually enjoys all this fight and stunt stuff, Nikolaj.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
They both really rose to the occasion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what actor doesn't? It's such fun. Fighting,
And they sort of enjoyed being...
stage fighting is such fun.
They sort of enjoyed the competitive aspect of it, too, because they have a ongoing sort of competition between the two of them.
And I remember we had to be very mindful of trying to keep dialogue in because we're trying to show his growing realization that she could beat him. It's pretty tricky choreography that way.
That's class.
She's kicking his ass.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. That's so good.
It's Joffrey's kind of chick, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now we introduce Noah Taylor as Locke.
Getting the better of you, if you can call that a woman.
There are so many introductions in this episode.
That juice is flowing. Flayed man of House Bolton. Bit gruesome for my taste.
You sorry, Sir One?
That's him, all right. I saw him fight at the
That
tourney.
damn farmer comes back to haunt us. We shouldn't have let him live.
So sad.
Damned farmer.
Everything that sets in motion.
Let us go.
She should have killed him. Said it from the start.
Enough to buy me a new head? If the king in the north hears I had the Kingslayer and let him go, he'll be taking it right off. I'd rather he takes yours.
It would have been shocking if Noah Wiley turned up.
That would have been funny.
From ER.
And of course, that was not the original ending either.
No.
The ending we had was what became the ending of episode 1.
That's right. Well, I'm Daniel Minahan, director from this episode.
I'm Vanessa Taylor, the writer of this episode.
I'm Natalie Dormer, plays Marjorie Terrell.
And I'm Jack Gleeson, plays Joffrey Baratheon.
Thank you for listening.